Greetings to you. Well, it's Sunday. The work must continue. Welcome to Uncensored Guyana. I am Dr. Prasad. And your work must continue when it comes to this program, to this live, to this show. And your job is to make sure you press the like button, the thumbs up. Press the like button. Let me hear from you. I want to hear your comments. I want to read your comments, rather. And to all the persons who take the time, I know it's not easy. It takes a lot of effort to use this thumb to write. But I appreciate hearing from you, especially based on the fact when you have the opposition, and now we have the people from the Win Party or the supporters of Azhruddin Mohammed flooding the internet with their toxicity and negativity, and they are trolling platforms like myself and making all kinds of threats and making all kinds of derogatory statements and all these kinds of stuff. I want you to counteract that, counter-protest their nastiness. So while they take the time to say ugly things, to cuss out the government, to cuss out Ali, to say bad things about Guyana, I want you to comment and say the good things about Guyana. They cannot dominate my platform with negativity. You, the folks, you, the supporters, you, the loyalists of Guyana, you, the people who love your country, should be the ones to dominate the comment section and make sure that there is no room for the people from WIN or the PNC or the haters of Guyana's democracy to make any remark. You be vigilant and look out for them. From the time they say something bad about your government, react to that immediately. Let them know that we are not afraid. We are stronger, we are smarter, and we are more vigilant. We are the gatekeepers of Guyana's democracy. Let them know that. Yes, keep the hearts coming. I love the hearts. I am a lover. Now, in less than 24 hours, Guyana could be going down the path of no return. In less than 24 hours. In less than 24 hours, tears would be shed with no one to dry them. Prayers would be said with absolutely no one to hear them. Decisions would be made with no consequences. We need to protect our president. He's already sad. Look at him. Have you seen him recently? Have you seen Irfaan Ali recently? When you see him, pay attention. Look at the details of his expression. Sadness, troubled, concerned, nervous. Pay attention. And this is not about Azhruddin Mohammed. This is about what the election of Azhruddin Mohammed could do to the country that Ali fought for. Remember when he fought against the PNC? Remember when he risked imprisonment at the hands of the PNC? Don't forget the sacrifices that man made that, quite frankly, no other politician has ever made besides Chedi Jagan for democracy. Don't forget how Irfaan Ali was bullied, publicly shamed, threatened, arrested by the government of Granger and the PNC. Why? Because he was a threat to them. 19 trumped up charges, non-substantiated, non-verified, all dismissed. And now, the bitter part of Guyana has subjected that great leader to the same nonsense again, that he has to carry this burden, this pain of what can happen to Guyana post tomorrow by electing a known criminal to the highest seat of the parliament, opposition leader? I'll pause. I want to talk to Albert, what's his name? Baldio. Albert Baldio, you are a criminal. Yes. I'm not speculating. I'm not spreading fake news. Albert Baldio, you are a criminal. You are an ex-con. An ex-con, a convict. Albert Balia, that's what you are. What am I? Am I defamation? Am I defaming you? No, the US justice system has defamed you. I'm speaking after them. You are a criminal. If you were convicted in a court of law and sentenced, that makes you a criminal and an ex-con. Therein you have no authority to speak on justice or fairness. None whatsoever. Albert Baldio, you are the last person to open your mouth. The FBI pursued you, arrested you for wire fraud, corruption, embezzlement, and you're coming to speak on character? I say, but if one person's rights is taken away, then all our rights are taken away. Whose rights are taken away? You need to understand this. You and a bunch of idiots who are pushing your narrative. It is not the Guyana government, you stupid fools, who pursued the Mohammeds. Fugitive offender is the right title for Ajudi Mohammed. He's a fugitive of justice. You're supposed to be a lawyer, right? I'm not a lawyer. I have common sense. I know the meaning of words. Fugitive means you're running from something. Ajudi Mohammed was running from justice in America. Hence, extradition request. Because he's located in Guyana, the United States found their fugitive and made a request to get the fugitive to arrest him in Guyana and send him to the United States to face justice. That's the fugitive offender. It's rightfully fitting the man. But you have no credibility, Albert Baldia. You are a criminal who wants to run for office in America. What's wrong with you? And let me further expound on this. Expound on this. Nelson Mandela was not a criminal. Mahatma Gandhi was not a criminal. Martin Luther King was not a criminal. None of these people that you're quoting were not criminals. Okay? They were a threat to the powers that be. They were politically persecuted. There is a vast difference. Politically persecuted. Had they not been in public life and have been carrying the weight they were carrying for the people they represented, they would not be pursued. Nelson Mandela would never be in jail. He was a lawyer. So was Gandhi, a lawyer. So was Martin Luther King. They would never have been in jail or pursued had they not been in politics. The difference here with that idiot that you're talking on behalf of, he got into politics because of his crime and he knew that he's been pursued, and he was advised that the only way he can try to delay this process is by getting into politics. And since he could not have gotten in the PPP and the PNC didn't want him, they concocted an idea to say, hey, we have this idiot that's supposed to go face justice in America. We can get him to topple the Ali government. We can get him to steal Indo-Guyanese votes. That's why Muhammad got into politics. That's why, because he's a fucking criminal. That's why. Don't compare these great men to that low life. What's wrong with you? The Muhammad war was being investigated long before this whole political thing, long before, since in the PNC time. Look at when the cases, 2012, case with gold smuggling and drugs, 2014, 2018. They have a record of being investigated. He decided to become a politician 3 months before elections. He persecuted. You think the government of Guyana has any interest in that lowlife? Thanks to the Americans, the Guyana government were able to understand the level of the crimes the Mohammeds committed against not just the United States, but the Guyanese people. Thanks to the justice system of America. He committed political acts to hide from prosecution, and extradition. That's the only reason by which he got involved in politics. They say no witch hunt. Somebody wants him. He was a die-hard PPP, just like you, Albert Balia. They have confessed how much political and politicians they funded. You mean all the years he had no interest? His father did some shabby campaign and try to get on a council for Region 4. You mean his son had no interest? Suddenly, because he's wanted, pursued, he decided to get into politics, using the ignorant, stupid black people to funnel his mission. But then again, it was not his idea. The Win Party was not his idea. So all these people who are coming up now, you think you know shit, you're talking your nonsense. What does Ali has to do with that? President Ali controls the American justice system. You mean he's that influential? He can tell Donald Trump what to do? Don't be misled, Guyanese. Folks, don't be deceived. The justice system is not mocked. Whatever a man soweth, so shall he reap. The Muhammad soweth crime, embezzlement, smuggling, drugs, all of the 11 points of indictment against them. It wasn't the Ali government who determined that. It wasn't the courts of Guyana. The only injustice that the courts of Guyana served the Guyanese people is that the courts did not put them on heavy bail and they weren't held on remand. That was an injustice on the people of Guyana because the court was lenient to these billionaires. You see, it's like a different system for the rich. Because all the poor people who are caught with drugs, they don't get remand. They don't get bail. Just drugs. They go to prison, especially if they're black. Prison. And here you have this Indo-Guyanese criminal who has embarrassed the country, put the country on the global stage in a negative light, just like these thugs usually do, just like the Negroes usually do. And instead of teaching him a lesson to say you don't embarrass your country like that, the courts treat him like a toddler, an underage criminal, a delinquent. He got bail. Yeah, you would think that his father's a cane cutter, so they give him a bail for 150,000 Guyana dollars. You wouldn't think that these guys are so rich that they can buy the whole judicial system. Well, that's what I hear in the pipeline. Yeah, Gupta got 2 million bail, right? Plus he was in prison for 2 months. And his crimes, alleged crimes, was like Rihanna's music to the Vibes Cartel shit that the Mohammeds are involved in. But yet he faced brute force of the law. And you are alleging that he's a PPP supporter or a friend of the government. And that's how they treat their friend. That's how the government treats its friends, by jailing them and putting them on heavy bails. You're not a friend of the government, and you got a free pass. So then it pays to be the enemy of the government, doesn't it? It pays. Yeah. Maybe that's why I'm not seeing benefits that I should see. Maybe that's why I'm not rich, because I'm a friend of the government. The government don't help their friends. Let me be more direct. The PPP, President Irfaan Ali government, don't help their friends. Because what do they do with their friends? According to you, Mohammed, Gupta is a friend of the PPP. But yet Gupta was remanded to prison by a magistrate in Georgetown, plus was placed on 2 million Guyana dollars bail. So it's good to be enemies with the PPP, isn't it? Because you are the enemy of the PPP, and you get 150,000 bail and your father. You're free to roam. I mean, you have such freedom that tomorrow you can likely be the end of Guyana by being sworn in opposition leader. You can likely bring the end of Guyana's democracy. So maybe it pays not to be friends with the Ali government, because you don't benefit as a friend. As an enemy, you benefit. Isn't it logical? Idiots? Yeah, it is. Now, tomorrow is Destruction Day. Imagine, let me paint a picture. I made a few pointers so that I don't miss anything. Let me make a few pointers. Paint a picture for you, folks. You have this man who has deceived the entire country because he started so-called shabby philanthropy just over 2 years, under 2 years. Putting together some shabby houses, giving people loans, whatever it is. And when you calculate the money that he would have spent, maybe it's within 5 million. Within 5 million Guyana dollars. The fact that he has embezzled and cheated the system of excess 191 billion Guyana dollars. Okay? And he has expended in the name of philanthropy just under 5 million Guyana dollars. For that, they had to vote for him, protest for him, sacrifice for him, and block the law from doing its job when it comes to him. The same individual now who has since stopped, months before elections, stopped all the charity, no more houses, no more delivery, none of that, because what, he's broke now, is engaged with propaganda, spreading fake news, lies, deception. And instead of using money for the so-called charities they propose to have, they're allegedly using money to fund online pundits, propagandists, to talk on their behalf. to spread fake news, to cause the government, to attack people like me, to threaten my life, my family. Allegedly, that's what he's using money for. That's better than helping a poor family. Just to keep him out of trouble and to keep a good impression of him on social media or the internet, garnering more sympathy for himself. That's the man that can possibly be the opposition leader of Guyana. The opposition leader. I've said in the past few days how this can be detrimental to the country. And you don't have to just listen to me. There's so many voices that are saying this. We can understand how exhausted the president is, that he had to walk out of an alleged heist to compromise his sovereignty as a president with this so-called British High Commission farewell party, as if she'll be missed. By having this idiot join them. That's to the extent to which this whole thing is pushing our president. I said before, the man is depressed. It is taking a toll on the man. We have to show how patriotic we are, and we have to stand up and give the president, his government, the support that is needed. We have to do that. Stop having people fight our battles. Look at what's happening to the rest of the world. You believe these Caucasian, these white people, they're setting the country up to fall, to fail. They very well know they can't do business with Guyana if you have such a person as opposition leader. They know that. They have said it. They were saying it before elections. Suddenly their mouth changed because they saw an opportunity to destabilize the country so they can exploit the resources and get better deals, in their opinion, which means less taxes or no taxes. They just go ahead, they exploit, while the government is trying to deal with the destabilization in Guyana. These foreign entities can rape and rob the country. So they're pushing all of this initiative when they know it will be detrimental to Guyana. And all these ignorant fools who have no sense of reality or realistic thinking, they think that this is about the Bahamas. This is about Guyana. This is bigger than the Bahamas. The Bahamas came on the scene just a few months ago. What has he ever done to earn this role that he's hijacked? What? Only playing on the sentiments of a bunch of stupid people, and we had no idea. I had no idea that illiteracy was so large in Guyana. No idea. The fact that he could have gotten 109,000 votes amongst a voting population about 700,000. And sadly, people were so turned off, but a lot of them stayed home. It tells you that the illiteracy is really, really profound in Guyana. Because the people who voted for Azzuddin Mohammed, they're illiterate. I'm accusing them of being stupid. I don't think poverty is a basis or an excuse for stupidity. There are lots of poor people that are smart. They're doing their best. They're trying. But if you are poor and dumb, that's a curse. And that has to come from the PNC side. There I describe the supporters of the Win Party. Now they don't miss the handouts. They see an opportunity to go on the streets in the future. But they fail to understand we have an opposition leader. An opposition leader who can't even leave Georgetown. Guyanese, my fellow Guyanese, good people of Guyana, Azriddin Mohammed is such a goner. The only way he can have a legitimate flight by a plane is when he's on the plane to federal prison. You are electing an opposition leader that cannot leave the boundaries of the city. In other words, he can go as far as a vehicle can take him. A car, that's how far he can go. He cannot get on a plane. He cannot get on a plane. That's the opposition leader for you. So tell me how he's representing his constituents when he can't reach them. There are a lot of parts of Guyana where you need to go by plane. And by plane, I mean you have to go via the airport, Ogle. And if you go to Ogle, you have to submit what? Your travel document, namely your passport. He doesn't have any because the court has it. Why? Because he's a flight risk. Why? Because he's waiting extradition. Why? Because he's indicted. Why? Because he's a criminal. That's why. And that's the man that you are going to elect tomorrow. That tomorrow, the Afro-Guyanese in the parliament, allegedly those who were paid, those who were paid to confirm, you either stay home, or if you come, you better be voting for Muhammad. Either way, you have your check, allegedly. Now, these fools are going to vote for this man tomorrow. They won't vote for Tabitha Haley. They wouldn't vote for Ganesh Mahipal. And Norton is out. They'll vote for Muhammad. On the 26th of January, in over 2 weeks, which might be the 5th of February, in over 2 weeks, he could possibly be deposed by way of a strike in the extradition request being approved of by the courts. If it is being approved of by the courts, let's paint a scenario here. This man, Albert Idiot, and the lawyers of Azriddin Mohammed, they're threatening to prolong this thing for 5 years, 10 years. Yeah, that's what they're doing. Just last week, Friday, the FBI pursued a criminal, one of the most wanted criminals in American FBI list in Mexico. They pursued him. He hid from the law for over 10 years. They couldn't find him. They found him 2 weeks ago, arrested him, and within 2 weeks, he was extradited. Oh, they tried to appeal the case in Mexico. They tried to go to Supreme. They tried all of that. But when the court said, on the grounds of the evidence, he will be extradited, they took him away. They can fight the appeal there in Mexico, but he's in the US. Let's look at Guyana now. If the court says The Mohammeds must leave the country via the extradition. When that judgment comes, he would have to be arrested. He would have to surrender himself. Okay? When he's in handcuff, the Parliament of Guyana can't put the business on hold while he is trying his appeal cases. They would strip him. The Guyanese Parliament will strip him. Remember, the PPP has 36 seats. They don't need to consult with any opposition to strip an illegal from embarrassing the House. They would vote and strip him as opposition leader, and he will be arrested. And I hope this time he's not put on bail. When that happens, his lawyers can appeal as much as they want. He has to go. Don't let them deceive you to think that if the magistrate says this is a clear case and he has to go to face his crimes, and she says yes, she signs off on that, it's official. He's not allowed to walk free or go on another bail pending the appeal. Usually when you have an appeal case, you are in prison. You are in prison while your appeal is going. It's a final judgment. There are lots of people in prison and the case is still appealed. They're not out on bail. So this situation with Azriddin Mohammed, like I said before, and like all the folks they keep telling us, this is not a case that is being tried in Guyana. What is before the courts? Should he be extradited? Yes or no? Based on the evidence presented by the Americans to support their case, to support their request, it's all there. The Americans are serious. This is why they keep appointing credible, experienced, prominent prosecutors to come to Guyana to help with their case, because it means they mean business. They want their guy. You come on, you tell me this. Aren't you people understand? Don't you understand that? You think that this is a joke? The Americans are going to send one to come and deal with the gold, the 3.3 million gold to confiscate that, and after that they're going to send another one to add to the prosecuting team? You think they're going to do all of that if this is not a done deal? Look when this other person came, before the February 5th hearing, because this is a done deal. This is sealed and delivered. This is not going beyond February 5th. His lawyers can say whatever they want because they need to keep having their money. So to appeal the case means there's more money for them. They need a job. But when the magistrate signs off on that, it is signed off. After that, he has to surrender or he shall be arrested and extradited. You can't block that. When he's on the plane, maybe the 6th or the 7th or whenever, usually it happens the same day. They don't wait around. If the court says yes, stamp and seal. If the court says that on February 5th, and the magistrate decided that, hey, he has to go, that will be in the morning time, before night, before the end of February 5th. He can very well be, he and his father, in U.S. prison the same day. The lawyers can't hurry up and hustle and say they're going to go and see another judge to hear the case. No. Other judges can say, not right now. You can't appeal to the same judge to say, well, your worship, can we just have a bail? No. Signed off, done with. Hand over to the FBI. or whoever else is there. That's it. That's the reality. So you're going to swear him in as opposition leader for 2 weeks? What business can be done? No business will be done with him. No government will engage somebody like that, knowing that it's a sure thing that he shall be extradited. Who would get involved in that? They would put every business on hold. The case cannot go beyond February 5th. So in the meantime, what? What business? The budget discussion will go on without him. Education is important. Now, you had a case with Singapore. Singapore, it's a country in Asia, Muslim country, very strict. You see how they recover from the nonsense they had to experience because they have a strict government. They stand for the rule of law, and they have a president who don't take nonsense. The opposition leader of Singapore, while in the seat of the opposition, lied under oath, and he was deposed. That's all he did. He lied. He took an oath to tell the truth, and he lied. That's a criminal offense. He wasn't indicted. He didn't murder anybody. He wasn't accused of drugs or guns or wire fraud. None of that. All he did was lie under oath. And his lies were proven to be lies. After that, what happened to him? Evicted from parliament, deposed, stripped of his titles as opposition leader. You think they went on the street to protest? You think they had chaos? No. Simple process. You broke the law, you go. You have a man who is 100 times worse. And we know he is 100 times worse. But instead, you are still going to, despite the fact he could be there for 2 weeks only, and no business will be conducted while he's there. After 2 weeks, he shall be stripped of the title, arrested, and sent to America. You want to go through that to prove a point? You want to go through that to prove a point? You think he has the capacity, or his lawyers have the capacity, to get him off again on bail while his case is appealed? And then you think it's going to go to the High Court? And then you think if convicted by the High Court, they're going to go to the CCJ? And then you think if convicted CCJ, they're going to go to another court as his lawyers and his propagandists are pushing? No. It wouldn't happen. Folks, February 5th could very well be D-Day, decision day. And if the magistrate, Judy, says it is a credible request and she signs off on it, sealed, while the lawyers are discussing possible appeal, the Muhammad will be forthwith arrested. Well, they should be there in the court as well. While they're there and that judgment comes down, the FBI, the Justice Department, all of the agencies that are representing in this particular case, they will be present. He's handed over to the Guyana police force. They do their paperwork. Then they hand them over to the United States team that is there. The rest of them and the lawyers, they can go and busy with their whatever. But February 5th could be the day when he is flown out of the country. He's gone, and his father. What are you going to do? You mean now you're going to go in your large numbers in front of the High Court? Just in case if what I just said happens, what are you going to do? Protest? You are going to protest. You really think you can do that? The American team will be there. And those guys, most of them are Secret Service agents. They are allowed to carry weapons. They're there to protect their citizens. They protect their government. You think you can go out in front of the High Court to intimidate these people? When they have Azriddin Mohammed's in handcuff, you think you Negroes can go and fight with them? What are you, stupid? You think that would be the guy of the police force? All of you would be arrested, obstruction of justice, and sent to prison. Oh, and there would be no bail, because that is an international situation. That is an international situation. Every one of you will be arrested and thrown into prison for obstructing justice, endangering the lives of federal individuals. Give it a shot. On February 5th, go out. You weren't there the last time, but since he will actually be opposition leader, in the court, facing his penalties, you can go. Yeah, go and say Ali won this guy and Ali this and Ali that. Go, go. I beg you. Go out. See what happens. Give it a shot. All you like to bluff and your big mouth and you like to threat, all them gangsters. I am challenging you now. All them thugs and gangsters, them low life, and you think you're brave, you think you're tough. All of you who like to hide from the police, you want to commit crime and then you want to hide from the police. On February 5th, go out. Show your toughness. Let's see how tough you are. Let's see what a gangster you are. Don't pick on people who don't have a gun. Go and defend your boss. This is why Guyana needs to deliver the mayor and city council into the hands of the PPP. If the People's Progressive Party controls the mayor and city council, the People's Progressive Party government can equip the city constabulary with reliable police officers, with reliable persons to enforce the law, not compromising people to take bribe. You need to take the law enforcement out of the hands of the PNC, then you will get somewhere. Give the mayor and city council, give Region 4 totally to the PPP. Look at how much work, folks, Priya Manik Chan is doing. We should have had her as Minister of Local Government since the beginning. Look how much work she's doing. Pouring her heart out, using the resources of her ministry to help these Negroes. Every corner of the ghetto she is trying to help them, save them, paint a better picture, showing them that, hey, life is more than just the slums. Who does that? The PNC never did it for their own people. The same way how you find a lot of the times when you have black people fighting, they don't want the fight to end. They want it to end when somebody dies. The same way they encourage and they support and they celebrate poverty. They like that. But here you have a PPP minister is doing what no other PNC minister of local government has ever done in the history of Guyana. She is saving black people. Why can't you recognize that? I mean, your hatred is so much that you rather suffer under a black government than to prosper under a government that you perceived as being Indian. I told you before that the PPP is not helping the Indo-Guyanese. The Indo-Guyanese are suffering under the PPP. It is the blacks who are benefiting. You don't think in the Indo-Guyanese communities there are slums? There are lots of slums, but you don't see it. You don't hear about it because nobody pays attention. People think that, yes, they're Indian, let them suffer. They don't complain. They don't run to the government. They don't call anybody. They try to make do and try to fix it as much as they can without government intervention. So tell me how having a PPP government benefits Indo-Guyanese. It doesn't. The black people are the ones who are benefiting. They always benefit. They benefit from the PNC and they're benefiting much more from the PPP. They benefit from the PNC in that the PNC turn its back on the crimes of the black community. They don't hold them accountable. The PNC could have done to the black people whatever they want, and the blacks would not complain. After all, if you're going to suffer, suffer by the hands of a black man. But you have an Indian president, you want him to fix your problems overnight. He must perform miracles just because you think you did him a favor. And he needs you more than you need him. So if he needs you, he has to work 10 times harder for your benefit than a black president or the PNC. It's not fair. It has to be balanced. But so much resources are going into the black communities that there's none left to go into the Indian communities. Indian people need to shut up and accept their fate. While the blacks are complaining all the time they're complaining. So to quiet the black people, they keep putting, giving them. Indo-Guyanese, you need to start complaining too. You need to raise your voice. You need to be loud because look at what's going to happen now. This idiot who's going to be opposition leader is not just going to affect the black people, but it's going to affect you more because you don't complain. If you think you're suffering now, Indo-Guyanese, wait after Monday. It's going to get worse, even for you. But you're not responsible. You didn't ask for that. The good, decent black people didn't ask for that, but it will affect all of us. Is it fair? No, it's not. They keep doing this. I wish you could isolate these idiots and put them on an island. Put them on an island so all these toxic and bad leaders that they seem to like, let them go lead them there. Remove them like the tares from amongst the wheat and assign them somewhere else where they can be happy in their misery and fight each other. Entertain each other by fighting each other. They don't belong in normal society. They don't belong in civilized communities. They don't. So all these new schemes and all these housing schemes and all these projects that the government is building, I hope they screen and vet these applicants to make sure they don't take thugs from Tiger Bay and all these ghettos to go live among decent folks. I hope they don't do that. It would be sad. But like I said, it will get worse after tomorrow. I want to hear from you. So entertain me in the comments. I want to hear what you think. And more than ever, I'm asking you to write a prayer. One sentence is enough. You can say, God save Guyana, God bless Guyana, God bless President Ali, long live President Ali, we stand with you, President Ali. However you can put it, just a few words. I want you to make a comment. Register that online. Let's hear what you have to say. So the international community can understand that Guyana and Guyanese did not stand with what is going to happen tomorrow. The parliament will be in chaos. The parliament will face constitutional crises. The parliament will have to vote in the near future to depose, to strip Azhruddin Mohammed. So I really don't understand the merit of the process. I don't get it. I wish President Ali can just suspend it. Just say, hey, no, we can't go through with this. I wish he can. I would have if I were the president. I would have. Matter of fact, Azhruddin Mohammed would never be able to contest an election if I were president. You talk about dictatorship, I'll be one. From day one, I'll be a dictator. And I promise you, all them thugs who like to threaten and want to do whatever, I'll burn the ghetto down, demolish all the houses. I'll give them houses, but the ghettos, I'll clean it. But since I'm not the president, and I have no influence over the judicial system, I'm hoping that good sense prevail, and the members who have to go tomorrow to vote, the members, the non-governmental parliamentarians from the opposition side, I hope for once the Black people in WIN and the PNC, I hope for once that you celebrate and embrace your racism. And when you look at Azhruddin Mohammed, hear the words of his father and understand that that's the son the billionaire racist father raised and is going to be controlling and leading the people that they're cursing, the people they're damned, the people they think as lowlifes and scums. So if you Black people in the opposition that will be there tomorrow to vote have any self-pride, any self-love, you would never unite to put a criminal who hates you, who thinks you are for sale, as your leader. Most importantly, he's Indo-Guyanese. You're supposed to hate Indians, but you love a criminal who's an Indian. Let's see how much you love your Black people, your own Black people, and see if you're going to vote for a family that you know hates you. Let's see. After tomorrow, I would either be apologetic based on my positions in the past about Afro-Guyanese, or proud that I took such a stand. You decide that. But my advice to you is elect tomorrow an Afro-Guyanese, a Black person to lead you in the opposition. My advice to you, Black people, Black parliamentarian, you'll be the most. You're the majority in the opposition. You are the majority. WIN and PNC, your combination are much more. They're like 20 of you against 4 or 5. So if 20 of you Blacks understand your calling as Afro-Guyanese and you have the opportunity to reclaim leadership of your people, knowing very well that Azhruddin is on his way out of the country, you don't want to put your country through that. Join together. Join together. and elect a black person to lead you tomorrow. I am telling you, I'm encouraging you to be racial, be racist, because Azridine's father said they're racial, and he makes no apology. You have a chance now to mirror that. And you don't have to claim it's racism. You can claim it's democracy, because we can't risk this house with you as the leader. You're out. You're on your way out. You're going to fuck up this country. You have a lot of other positions to take besides making it racial. I'm making it racial, but you don't have to. You have legal grounds not to have the man as opposition leader. You have all of these positions. Explore it, exploit it. You can even get Sherrod Duncan. He needs a break. You have so many people in PNC and WIN who can take that position. You're going to give it to a criminal because you are afraid that you won't get financing anymore? Be smart. Take advantage of the WIN people the same way they took advantage of you all your life. Elect an Afro-Guyanese as opposition leader tomorrow. Until next time. Thanks for your attention. Goodbye.